Canada again continues to feel the effects of climate change with unprecedented fires in the Arctic, hurricane damage out east, and flooding in multiple provinces. So what was the worst weather we had to endure this year? Well, we spoke to Environment and Climate Change Canada's chief climatologist to break it down.
Number 10 was kind of a good news, bad news story. Fewer fires, but more burning. And Alberta is where most of the fires were this year. They had 4 times the area burned this year because of fires.
At number 9, the St. John River flood in New Brunswick and Quebec flooded the area for the second time in 2 years. Coming in at number 8, across the country, spring was measured in minutes rather than months, with temperatures low until the end of May. Number 7, the Halloween storm that left 2 million Quebecers in the dark was the most expensive single-event storm of the year. Number 6 was the growing season on the prairies that started off too dry and ended up too wet and too snowy. That's on top of 3 years of drought. The one I found most fascinating on the list at number 5 was weather occurring in the Arctic where it hasn't occurred before. We had fires burning north of 60. We had lightning near the North Pole. And we even had a tornado in the Northwest Territories. And that's pretty unheard of.
I mean, I've been in the business over 50 years, and it takes a lot to surprise me.
At number 4, February left most of Canada shivering. In fact, it was the coldest month in 72 years.
Edmonton, for example, had 26 of the 28 days of February were below minus 20. And I'm not talking about the wind chill. This is the absolute temperature.
Remember number 6 on the list where the growing season ended up too wet? All of that snow turned out to be disastrous for farmers.
2 major snowfalls before Thanksgiving. One at the end of September in Calgary brought about, I think, about 35 centimeters of snow to that city. We saw a couple of weeks later a system that came in, brought more snow, power outages with strong winds, and also crippled the farmers.
And here's Dave with the top 2.
The number 2 story this year was the active hurricane season. We had 6 tropical storms that touched Canada, but we had the one big one was Dorian. It came into to Nova Scotia. In that province, they know storms. I mean, they had more public infrastructure damage from that storm than any other storm in their history. I think if I look back at this year, I think it was the year of the big flood. This one, in 120 years, we've never seen water so high in the Ottawa River. 6,000 homes were inundated from that particular flood.
Now, even though the year is not done, I don't see anything list-worthy coming our way until 2020. In Toronto, meteorologist Adam Stiles, City News.